Hey, I'm Jon Thelen. Today on Fish Ed, we're gonna pull some spinners. It's midsummer, and I'll tell you what, this bite's just cranking up. The water's warming up, and this is the time of the year that these fish will just go crazy on spinners. Stay right where you're at. It's gonna be a good one. There he is. Oh yeah. That feels like a decent fish. I think spinners are so fun to fish, partially because they're easy. You know, you don't need to have just a ton of skill. Oh yeah, another great eater walleye. You don't need just a ton of skill to fish a spinner. What you need to be able to do is just have a little bit of boat control so that you can move the boat along at a speed in which these spinners are going to move. And a lot of times you can do what we're doing today. These fish will be so aggressive that you're able to just put them in rod holders. And a lot of times, if you grab that rod out of a rod holder and set the hook right away, you'll miss them. But if you do what we're doing today, where you just kind of let them eat it, let them eat it, let them eat it, then reel down a little bit, and then reel all the way up, you'll get them to bite. I'm gonna be a little bit careful there because you got a bunch of hooks down there. And that's one of the things that, you know, it's easy with a spinner rig to get yourself hooked because you got that second hook up there. Look at that fish right there. Walleyes like that, man, they love night crawlers, and the best way, in my opinion, to deliver a night crawler is on a spinner rig, because I'll tell you what, gives that flash, gives that vibration, all those things that a walleye loves. Let's let that guy go, and then I'm gonna show you the exact spinner rig I'm using, because it'll make a big difference. You'll catch more fish if you're rigged right. So let's get that guy back in the water. It's a great eye right there. Let me show you this spinner rig. This is a simple Lindy crawler harness. And I'll talk a lot, I'll use the term spinner rig and crawler harness separately. A crawler harness is actually when we got 2 hooks, and a spinner rig is when we got 1. But a lot of times we all still just call them spinners. But here's what's so special about this rig that we're using right here. Number one, it's 6 feet long, and it's made out of 14-pound fluorocarbon. Now I'm fishing some pretty clear water today. And when you're fishing a clear water situation, fluorocarbon can make such a big difference because it's just harder for the fish to see. And then with this 14-pound, here's the other thing. This thing's gonna hold up. There's nothing more frustrating to me than when I have to constantly retie throughout the day. This fluorocarbon in 14-pound is just tough, so it holds up for you. But there's something really cool that we did with these spinners. If you look at this, this is the perch color, and we've got a blade that gives off perch colors, and it's gonna give off flash, it's gonna give off vibration, but there's 2 things. One thing about the blade is we got those great colors, but the other thing is on the back, we've got a chrome back, and what that's doing is when fish are following, it's giving off flash so that they can see that flash, and it makes them wanna hit it. Then the other thing is, if you look at a lot of the spinners out on the marketplace, you'll see 3, 4, 5 orange beads. Well, what we've done with these Lindy spinners is we've color coordinated all of these beads to match the bait fish that we're trying to match with the spinner rig. So on this perch, you can see we've got green and orange beads. Well, what's happening is when that blade is spinning, that chrome is flashing those colors. So it looks like a perch from beginning to end. And then you put that night crawler on there, and here's what you get. You get a bunch of scent, and you get that extra action. It looks like a tail of a bait fish swimming in the water, and that can make all the difference right there. Using the right spinner rig will definitely catch you more fish than on any given day where you might have the wrong one down. And I like to pay a lot of attention to how I'm doing this and how it looks down there, especially in this clear water. Let's get this back in there and get us another one, because they're snapping pretty good this morning. There's one right there. Got him. That one feels a little bit heavier. There's been such a nice mix of eater-sized fish here. You get some that are a little bit bigger, some, oh yeah, it's another one of those same good size. 16 inchers. We haven't seen any big ones so far today, but you know what? Fish like that one right there, they're aggressive and they're eating. And if you're out to keep some fish, man, these fish eat great. I'll tell you, the spot we're fishing here is important, but it's not as important as you might think. When you're spinner fishing, I think one of the neatest things is you have the ability to move pretty fast. Because that eye right there, he'll chase. I mean, there's no doubt about the fact that he'll chase. We'll throw him back. But one of the things that's really neat about spinners is you can use them in so many different locations. You could fish the edge of a flat where all of a sudden it comes down because you're moving fast enough that you can keep your boat right on that spot. You can fish an area like we are today where it's just a little bit more gradual. It's not a super big dump into deep water. So what I'm able to do is kind of just cruise anywhere on it. But all I'm trying to do is I'll go down and I'll find bottom. And as soon as I find bottom with that sinker, I'll lift up and I'll hold it just above bottom. And then I'll give it one more time to find bottom again when I'm up to speed. And I'm trying to run somewhere in that neighborhood of a mile an hour. But the neat thing about these spinners is the fact that you can fish any of these types of locations. Because you look at today, I'm just cruising around on a rock flat. It's got rubble mixed in. There's some hard bottom out here. And then I'm surrounded by soft bottom. And these fish, they're just up here chasing bait. And they're running all over this thing. And it makes it so I can consistently cover ground. Now, if I was Lindy rigging, I'd have to move really slow. And here's the thing. When you get to this time of the year, these fish are far more scattered. Because see, earlier in the year when there's less bait, they'll school up more because they need each other to find more, to round bait up and find more areas to feed in. But when you get to this midsummer period, what happens is this whole lake is just loaded with bait. And this happens on every lake across the Midwest. This is the time of the year when the most bait is in the system. There's bugs hatching, the minnows are growing up and leaving shore. There were last year's minnows, there's perch, whatever it may be, there's tons of food. So spinners allow me to just cover ground and fish areas like this and fish it fast. Right there. Just sucking on. Look at that. Just, oh yeah, just had that tip bent. There's a lot of fish where we're at right here and just motoring over them. And here's the thing. They're just looking for something to trigger them. And this is a bigger fish. You know, we've picked on a bunch of great eater-sized fish today. And I knew it was just a question of time because these fish are all in the same neighborhood. And this is that's a better fish. I can't tell you how much better, but he's a better one. There's no doubt. Oh, geez. Spinners, though, what's so cool about them is that they trigger these bites right here. They just trigger fish. And you can go over fish sometimes with different presentations time and time again and not get them to bite. And then all of a sudden, you come through them with a spinner. And what happens is you just trigger them. You trigger good fish, and all of a sudden, they'll snap. And you look at this walleye right here, and what a pretty fish. I mean, he is just pretty golden colored, but he fell for that spinner. And you can look at that. He's hooked up on that front hook. He's hooked up there because he was attacking that blade. He was attacking everything he saw. That was exactly what he needed to trigger. Fish like that, man, I'll tell you what. You can get them on spinners, and you can get them pretty consistently, because here's the thing you get. You get the opportunity to trigger fish that may not be eaten otherwise. That's a great walleye right there. What a great way to wrap up our day. What a pretty fish.